support grants and tips surrounding the short-term rental accommodation, and particularly around the cancellations. Now, we've talked about around the short-term rental accommodation, the new code of conduct and the new laws. We've been talking about this a few times over the last couple of months. Again, because of COVID, many people have actually needed to cancel their travel plans. And for an accommodation provider or an agent who is, supporting an accommodation provider who's been impacted by those accommodation cancellations between the 25th of June and the 11th of July, you actually may be eligible for the accommodation support grant. Okay, so that first period of lockdown. Now, there's two different grant amounts being available: $2,000 for cancellations of 10 days or less, or 10 nights, accommodations they refer to it, or $5,000 for cancellations or up to $5,000 for cancellations of 11 nights or more. So those of you who are real estate agents, and also along with BAS agents, accountants, registered tax agents, I'm talking to you mostly as real estate agents, you can apply for these grants on behalf of a business with their authority. Okay, so again, it's always about getting the authority. So if you or your client has more than one accommodation property in New South Wales, you can actually submit an application for each property. So guys, many of you assist property owners in offering short-term rental accommodation, or you'll probably always refer to it as your holiday lets. That's fine. Get in here. See if you can actually get your clients something from these grants, if they're eligible. So the really important point here is applications for these accommodation support grants close on the 30th of November. We are in November now. You've got about 3 weeks to get this done, or a bit over 3 weeks. But guys, they close on 11:59. I think the Fair Trading website says 11:59 p.m. on the 30th of November. Okay, so make sure if you have clients that fit into this category that you are supporting them through this before that date, because you're going to have to get some information. You're going to have have some proof in there. You're going to have the authority of your property owner to be doing this on their behalf. So talk to them now. This is really important. So, and on the other flip side of that, you'll have guests who have, people who have booked those short-term accommodations and they've needed to cancel their travel, or they've been the public health orders have had an impact upon that for them. I mean, obviously, guests have rights under the Australian consumer law. However, the specific public health orders are going to change some of that, because some of the government restrictions have meant that people have not been able to provide a service that they have offered and put out there to the public. So if you were, or if you are advertising short-term rental accommodation, make sure that the terms and conditions are clearly detailed, on your website, in your booking forms, in anything you're sending out to the guests that are booking in, so that they can actually read it, they can understand their rights, particularly if it's been impacted by COVID public health orders, and if there are restrictions imposed. I mean, everything's opening up at the moment, so things should be getting better, but still, your terms and conditions are really, really important. So, normally businesses have, consumer guarantees. Again, public health orders are going to override those. So, it's important that you tell your clients or your guests, if they're using you're doing holiday lets or short-term rental accommodation, to check the terms and conditions, and that they don't contradict what the public health orders are saying. So, you need to have those terms and conditions. You need to make sure you read and understand them, and then you need to make sure that your guests are doing that as well. So guys, with all of the new legislation around short-term rental accommodation, this is just an extra bit on the side where COVID has had an impact on the cancellations and some support grants that are there available to property owners.